ഞാൻ പറയാം കേരളത്തിലെ വൺ ഓഫ് ദ ടോപ്പ് ഫാഷൻ ഡിസൈനിങ് കോളേജ് നിർമ്മല കോളേജാണ്. കാരണം ഇത്രയും നന്നായിട്ട് എനിക്ക് പറയാൻ കഴിയുന്നത് ഞാൻ 2012 മുതൽ ഇവരുടെ കളക്ഷൻസ് കാണുന്നതാണ്, ആ കുട്ടികളുടെ പ്രോസസ്സ് കാണുന്നതാണ്. അതിലുപരി ഈ ടീച്ചേഴ്സിൻ്റെ എഫർട്ടും അവരുടെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടും കാണുന്ന ഒരാളാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഒരിക്കലും എനിക്ക് വാക്കുകൾ കൊണ്ട് പറഞ്ഞു
Good morning. Let's start this session with a prayer.
Maitreem bhajata akhila hrijatrim. Maitreem bhajata akhila hrijatrim. Atmavadeva paranapi pashyata yuddham tyajata spardham tyajata pareyesham kramamam kramanam. Maitreem bhajata akhila hrijatrim. Maitreem bhajata akhila hrijatrim. Good morning to all participants who joined with us for this webinar. We have participants from various colleges and institutions with us. A warm welcome to all. I take the opportunity to extend a warm and hearty welcome to our beloved guest, Ms. Anjana Gopakumar, Honorable Chairman of Nirmala College, Mr. Sajeev Batoli, Director Ms. Dali Sajeev, Principal Mr. Murugan Babu CR, and Vice Principal Dr. Jojo C. Akara. Nirmala College, affiliated to the University of Connecticut, offers various undergraduate programs in commerce, management, computer applications, English, multimedia, costume, fashion designing, food technology, tourism, and hotel management. As a college that aims at excellence and first class education, above all, even during these trying times, we've made it our goal to open all forms of opportunities to our students via online forums. As part of this courageous endeavor, Emerge 2021 was reborn. The Department of Tourism and Hotel Management at Nirmala College offers 3 courses: BTHM, BTTM, and BSc Food Technology. The department stands out as it offers a blend of tourism and hotel management courses, and along with the course, the student gets hands-on experience in the industry. I now call upon the pillar of the organization and an exemplary academician, Professor Murugan Babu CR, for the welcome speech. So please.
Thank you. Esteemed guest of the day, Miss Anjana Gopakumar, honored chairman of the Nirmala institutions, Sri Sajeev Vatoli, the executive director, Miss Dali Sajeev, my dear colleagues and friends, good morning to you all. As you know, friends, this forenoon of Tuesday, 22nd of June 2021 marks the start of the second session of the second day of the special webinar season here at Nirmala College of Arts and Science, Melur, Chalakudi, which is one of the 6 pillars of higher education under Nirmala institutions that was established at Chalakudi in 1954. Over the years, Nirmala has successfully molded the career of hundreds of thousands of youngsters. Well, friends, as I just mentioned, this auspicious time marks the start of the second session of the second day of the second edition of our annual webinar series codenamed Emerge 2021. The 2021 edition of Emerge is an academic carnival spread over 14 working days, 24 colorful sessions, 24 shining stars known widely among the academia, a radiant bouquet of emerging areas of knowledge being brainstormed in these sessions. Oh, it is going to be a very, very exciting affair. Remember, this is how we here at Nirmala have decided to deal with the threat of COVID-19 pandemic. Well, friends, let me now formally welcome the guest of the session, Miss Anjana Gopakumar, an experienced marketer, food blogger, and columnist with a demonstrated history of working in the food and beverage industry. Ms. Anjana has a passion for marketing communications, digital media, marketing strategy, content strategy and networking, launch marketing, and food writing. Ms. Anjana Gopakumar, with lots of love and affection, on behalf of everyone here at Nirmala, I welcome you cordially to this marvelous event. Now, friends, let me formally welcome you all to this glorious event. First, the chairman of this Nirmala group of institutions, Mr. Sajeev Vatoli, and Ms. Dali Sajeev, the executive director, who is also presiding over this function. The duo sitting at the helm of Nirmala Chalakudi. With lots of love and warmth, I welcome them both to this great event. Friends, now it is my turn to extend a warm and cordial welcome to our Vice Principal, the heads of departments, and all members of our teaching fraternity and the non-teaching staff. I welcome them all. Finally, my dear students, there are tens of hundreds of registered participants from within and without Kerala, and all of them are sitting glued to their mobile phones in the comfort of their homes with a lot of love and affection. I extend a very, very warm welcome to you all, my dear friends. Once again, I welcome you all with best wishes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The department is indeed more than happy to take a look at the emerging industry of food blogging. Who other than a young and energetic food blogger to take us through the basics of food blogging? We have amongst us Ms. Anjana Gopakumar, who is going to give us insights about the topic, an introductory guide to food blogging. Anjana started her career with the very famous Uber Eats as the marketing manager and worked diligently in launching, building, and improving the marketing chair for Uber Eats across 6 cities within the state. She is the Academy member of Culinary Company, India's only authoritative and independent restaurant and food rating organization. She is a full-time blogger and runs a PR and marketing firm for restaurants and hotels in Trivandrum and is a food columnist for On Manorama. She has also been featured on the Indian Express, The Hindu, Creative Eye, Malayalam Manorama, and Asiabilly. We are humbled and honored to have such a hardworking and extremely talented young speaker with us today. To all the participants gathered here and eagerly waiting for the session, please feel free to ask your queries through the chat box, which can be answered towards the end of the session, and fill the feedback form through the provided link in the chat box to get your e-certificates. Now, let us not waste a single moment and let us start a very interesting webinar. Anjana, if you could take over, please.
Thank you, Ms. Sukanya. Thank you, everyone who introduced me. Namaskaram. എൻ്റെ പേര് അഞ്ജന ഗോപകുമാർ. I just wanted to quickly check what language will be comfortable for the people in the audience. മലയാളം ആണെങ്കിൽ മലയാളത്തിൽ സംസാരിക്കാം. English ആണെങ്കിൽ we can speak in English.
I think both can be used, like whatever you're comfortable with that.
Awesome. അപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ രണ്ടിന്റെയും ഒരു ബ്ലെൻഡ് ഐ സ്പീക്ക് മിക്സ് ഓഫ് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ആൻഡ് മലയാളം സോ ദാറ്റ് ഐ റീച്ച് ഔട്ട് ടു ഓൾ ആൻഡ് എവരിബഡി. അപ്പോൾ തുടങ്ങുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് I have to say I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity. Thank you so much, Nirmala College, to the department. I mean, this is so precious to me. കാരണം എൻ്റെ സ്റ്റോറി പറയാനാണെങ്കിൽ I was a hospitality student myself and I'm a tourism graduate. So, ഇത് രണ്ടിന്റെ ഒരു കോമ്പിനേഷൻ ആണ് എൻ്റെ ലൈഫ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. സോ ഐ എം എ ഹോസ്പിറ്റാലിറ്റി സ്റ്റുഡൻറ് എന്ന് പറയാൻ കാരണം ഞാൻ ഡ്രോപ്പ് ഔട്ട് ചെയ്ത ഒരാളാണ്. വെൽക്കം ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ് സ്കൂൾ ഓഫ് ഹോട്ടൽ അഡ്മിനിസ്ട്രേഷൻ മണിപ്പാൽ യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റിയിൽ 2 വർഷം പഠിച്ചു, 2 പ്രാവശ്യം ഡ്രോപ്പ് ഔട്ട് ചെയ്തു. ദിസ് ഇസ് നോട്ട് എ ക്യൂ ഫോർ യു ടു ഡ്രോപ്പ് ഔട്ട്. ഐ എം ജസ്റ്റ് സേയിങ് ദാറ്റ് എൻ്റെ സ്റ്റോറി അങ്ങനെ തുടങ്ങുന്നത്. മാത്രമല്ല മാം പറഞ്ഞതുപോലെ if you have questions, chat box മാത്രമല്ല, if you can raise your hand, I could take questions up തന്നെ. It will be more interactive, I feel. If that is okay with you, ma'am, is that okay?
Yeah, sure. It's okay with us.
Awesome, thank you. അപ്പോൾ ഇപ്പോൾ ആർക്കെങ്കിലും ക്യാമറ ഓൺ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ I would be grateful because it will feel less like I'm talking to my laptop and more like I'm actually talking to people. അപ്പോൾ ക്യാമറ ഓൺ ചെയ്യാൻ കംഫർട്ടബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ളവർ പ്ലീസ് ഗോ ഹെഡ് ആൻഡ് സ്വിച്ച് ഓൺ യുവർ ക്യാമറ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ ലാപ്ടോപ്പ് നോക്കി സംസാരിച്ചോളാം, കുഴപ്പമില്ല. സോ ഞാനൊരു ചെറിയ ഇതൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ഒരു PPT. I made a PPT so that this whole thing goes smoothly. But before I go into the whole thing, I'll just quickly share my screen. കൂടുതൽ boring PPT ഒന്നും അല്ല, just very fun, because I consider myself a fun, quirky, witty person. So I don't like lengthy PPTs. So I'm going to keep it very fun and simple. ഞാൻ ഒന്ന് എൻ്റെ സ്ക്രീൻ ഷെയർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ നോക്കട്ടെ. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ചാറ്റ് ബോക്സിൽ കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ എന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റുമോ?
Yes, it is visible, Anjana.
Okay. Sweet. So basically, hi. I always call my sessions blogging through the block because നമ്മൾ ഒരു പുതിയ കരിയർ പാത്തിലേക്ക് ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ when we move on to something that the road less traveled by, there's always a block. It can be mental, it can be physical, it can be some things you create on your own. നമുക്ക് തോന്നും ഇത് ചെയ്താൽ എവിടെ എത്തും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇത് ചെയ്താൽ ഇതിന്റെ എൻഡ് റിസൾട്ട് എന്താണ്. Unlike career paths that are എന്താ പറയുക already established, it is very difficult for us to kind of understand നമ്മൾ എങ്ങോട്ടാണ് മുന്നോട്ട് പോകുന്നതെന്ന് നമുക്കൊരു റെഫറൻസ് ഇല്ല. So it's going to be a little difficult. അപ്പോൾ അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് I call it blogging through the blog. So like I said, I'm going to introduce myself. Other than the whole professional introduction, I'm grateful for the lovely, lovely, lovely introduction that the college gave me. I am overwhelmed and I'm just like, I wish എൻ്റെ അച്ഛനും അമ്മയും ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു കേൾക്കാൻ. Like they're outside, they're giving me the space, but I really wish, you know, ഈ ഒരു introduction ഒക്കെ എൻ്റെ അച്ഛനും അമ്മയും കേൾപ്പിക്കാൻ പറ്റുമെന്ന്. But I'll try and see if I can get a recording or show them or something. So that's my biggest goal in my life. Whenever I think of dreams, I see myself on a stage. I don't know what stage. കാരണം ഈ ആക്ടേഴ്സിനെ പോലെ ഓസ്കാർ എന്ന് പറയാനോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ എൻ്റെ ചേട്ടൻ ഒരു മ്യൂസീഷ്യനാണ്, ചേട്ടൻ്റെ ഡ്രീം ഗ്രാമി അവാർഡ് കിട്ടാനാണ്. അപ്പൊ ഗ്രാമി എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു സ്റ്റേജ് എനിക്ക് എന്ത് സ്റ്റേജ് ആണെന്ന് അറിയില്ല, ബട്ട് സംവെയർ ഐ വോണ്ട് ബി ഓൺ സ്റ്റേജ് ആൻഡ് റിസീവ് എൻ അവാർഡ് ആൻഡ് ഹാവ് മൈ പേരൻസ് ഓൺ ദ VIP സീറ്റ്, യുനോ. അപ്പൊ അതൊക്കെയാണ് ചെറിയ ചെറിയ കുട്ടി കുട്ടി ഡ്രീംസ് ദാറ്റ് കം അപ്പ് ആൻഡ് കമ്പൈൻ ടു ബിഗർ ഡ്രീംസ്. അപ്പോൾ who is this talking to you? As the college and the faculty and the management introduced, my name is Anjana Gopakumar. ഞാനൊരു ഫുഡ് ബ്ലോഗർ ആണ്, ഒരു മാർക്കറ്റർ ആണ്, കോളമിസ്റ്റ് ആണ്, ഓൺടർപ്രണർ ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ മിസ് സുകന്യ എന്നോട് ചോദിച്ചു, അഞ്ജന ഹൗ ഡു വി ഡിഫൈൻ യു എന്ന് ചോദിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ എപ്പോഴും കൺഫ്യൂസ്ഡ് ആണ്. ഐ വിഷ് ആൻഡ് ഐ really wish if I had one term to define myself, like how teachers have this prestigious opportunity to say I'm a teacher. Doctors have the prestigious opportunity to say I'm a doctor. Engineers have it, I'm an engineer. അത് പറയുന്ന പോലെ I wish I had one single or definition, but I don't, unfortunately. But I consider that a privilege too. I can be many things at once. But one thing that binds me together is the fact that it's all connected to food. At the end of the day, it's around food and beverage. And so the journey started when I was living with my grandmother. എൻ്റെ അമ്മയ്ക്കൊരു ഫിസിക്കൽ ഹെൽത്ത് ഇഷ്യൂ കാരണം ഐ ഹാഡ് ടു ഗോ ലിവ് വിത്ത് മൈ ഗ്രാൻഡ് മദർ. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ ഞാൻ എന്നെ പുറത്തൊന്നും വിട്ടില്ലായിരുന്നു, അമ്മ ഭയങ്കര സ്ട്രിക്റ്റ് ആയിരുന്നു. സോ അങ്ങനെ ഐ സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് വാച്ചിങ് എ ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് TV ഷോസ് റിഗാർഡിങ് ഫുഡ്. ആൻഡ് അവിടെ നിന്ന് എനിക്ക് ഷെഫ് ആവണം എന്നുള്ള ആഗ്രഹം വന്നു. ഐ എം ഷുവർ എന്താ ഈ ഹോസ്പിറ്റാലിറ്റി ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയിൽ പഠിക്കുന്ന ഇഷ്ടം പോലെ പേർക്ക് ഫുഡ് പ്രൊഡക്ഷനിലേക്ക് പോകാൻ താല്പര്യം ഉള്ളവരുണ്ടാവും. ഐ എം ഷുവർ there are a lot of people who want to focus on the culinary side of things. I was one passionate student in the culinary field too. ഞാൻ BA in culinary arts at വർഷ മണിപ്പാലാണ് ആദ്യം പഠിക്കാൻ പോയത്. പക്ഷേ എനിക്കൊരു ഹെൽത്ത് ഇഷ്യൂ കാരണം ഞാൻ ഡ്രോപ്പ് ഔട്ട് ചെയ്യേണ്ടി വന്നു. And I came back home and I went back to the same college. Karnam, my HOD was an amazing person. Chef Tirugana Sambandham. Industrial Mikavarkum, കുറച്ച് പരിചയമുള്ള ഒരു പേരാണ്. He's a familiar name because he's a mentor and guru to many people, and someone I look up to. അപ്പോൾ Chef Tiru പറഞ്ഞു, why don't you come back, do hotel management, try your hand at it, it's okay. ഞാൻ ഹോട്ടൽ മാനേജ്മെന്റ് പഠിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നു, സെയിം കോളേജ്. ആക്സിഡന്റ് ആകുന്നു, 3 മാസം അഡ്മിറ്റ് ആകുന്നു, പിന്നെയും ഡ്രോപ്പ് ഔട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നു. So my parents are not used to the whole idea of me dropping out and ഒരു ഡ്രോപ്പ് ഔട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഇങ്ങനെ അഡ്ജസ്റ്റ് ആയി വരുന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ, അടുത്ത ഡ്രോപ്പ് ഔട്ട് ആയി. ഇറ്റ് വാസ് എ ടഫ് ജേർണി ഫോർ മീ. കാരണം അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഞാൻ ബാംഗ്ലൂരിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നു, അവിടെയും ഹെൽത്ത് ഇഷ്യൂ വരുന്നു, തിരിച്ചു വരുന്നു, ബിസിനസ് തുടങ്ങുന്നു, അതും പൂട്ടുന്നു, സെയിം ഹെൽത്ത് ഇഷ്യൂ തന്നെയാണ്. സോ ഐ എം അലർജിക്. ഞാൻ ഷെഫായിട്ട് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പോയപ്പോൾ ഐ ഗോട്ട് ടു നോ ദാറ്റ് ഐ എം അലർജിക് ടു ദ ഡസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് സ്പൈസസ്, റിഫൈൻഡ് ഫ്ലവർ, കാസ്റ്റർ ഷുഗർ. ഇതൊരു ഭയങ്കര ഐറോണിക് സിറ്റുവേഷൻ ആണ്. എന്താ മെക്കാനിക്കൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിന് മോട്ടോർ ഓയിൽ അലർജി എന്ന് പറയുന്ന പോലെയാണ്. എനിക്ക് എല്ലാ ഐറ്റംസും അലർജി ആയി തുടങ്ങി. അങ്ങനെ ഞാൻ എല്ലാം ഡ്രോപ്പ് ഔട്ട് ചെയ്ത് തിരിച്ചു വരികയാണ് ഉണ്ടായത്. അപ്പോൾ ദിസ് പേഴ്സൺ ഹൂസ് ടോക്കിംഗ് ടു യു ഹാസ് എന്താ പറയാ, ഐ ഹവ് സീൻ ഫെയിലിയർ ever since 2015 and life one after the other there's only been failures. So these inganatha opportunities I consider the big stepping stones to my I won't call it success, I will say my growth. Apo failure has been my bread and butter. And if you look through the PPT, I've only used food terms because that's because or growth, like I call it. എന്താ പറയാ, I think these four things are the most essential things in building your career. നമ്മൾ കരിയർ ഗ്രോ ചെയ്യാനിരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് these are your four things that you will need the most. Number one is humility. See, I can only preach what I practice, right? അപ്പൊ എനിക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ആ കൂടെ എനിക്ക് എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. അപ്പം one thing I've learned from my career guru, Mr. Ranjit Prahladan, is humility. എപ്പോഴും നമ്മളെ എപ്പോഴും എന്താ പറയുക, എൻ്റെ അച്ഛനും പറയും ഫലമുള്ള വൃക്ഷത്തിന്റെ ശിഖരം താണേ ഇരിക്കാവൂ എന്ന് പറയും. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ എത്രത്തോളം നമ്മളെ അറിവ് കുറവാണെന്ന് നമ്മളെ തന്നെ കൺവിൻസ് ചെയ്താൽ മാത്രമേ വി കെൻ ഓൾവേസ് ആസ്ക് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് വൈ ഐ ഹവ് ഹൈലൈറ്റഡ് ക്വസ്റ്റനിങ് ഓർ ഹങ്കർ ആസ് ദ ബിഗ്ഗസ്റ്റ് പോയിന്റ് ഹിയർ. എൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് കുറെ പേര് അനോയ് ആവാറുണ്ട്, കാരണം ഐ കീപ് ആസ്കിങ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ്. എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവാത്ത കാര്യം ഞാൻ ചോദിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കും. ഈവൻ അറ്റ് ഹോം, ലൈക്ക് എൻ്റെ അച്ഛനും അമ്മയും അനോയ് ആവാറുണ്ട്. ഞാനിങ്ങനെ ഒരു കാര്യം എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലായില്ലെങ്കിൽ, ഇപ്പൊ ബേസിക് പൊളിറ്റിക്സ് ആവട്ടെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വീട്ടിൽ നടക്കുന്ന കാര്യമാവട്ടെ, ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങനെ ഐ കീപ് ക്വസ്റ്റനിങ് ടു എ പോയിന്റ്. ഈവൻ ഇൻ ക്ലാസ്, I'm a student now. I'm a student of George Brown College. I'm doing food and beverage management. അവിടെയും I keep asking questions until I know the answer. So I think with humility comes your hunger for growth. So it's kind of interconnected. The more you tell yourself that you have not learned everything, the more you question and the more you learn. And another key takeaway from my career experience, ഇതുവരെയുള്ള എൻ്റെ എല്ലാ opportunities have come from networking. നിങ്ങൾ hospitality industry, tourism ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയിലാണെങ്കിൽ I think this is going to benefit you like, എന്താ പറയാ, it's the Horlicks for growth. The more you network with the right kind of people, the more opportunities you get. നമ്മൾ ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഞാൻ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നില്ല നമ്മുടെ കോമൺ ഫ്രണ്ട്സിനെയൊക്കെ വിട്ടിട്ട് നമ്മൾ പൊസിഷനിലും പവറിലും ഇരിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാരുടെ അടുത്ത് മാത്രം പോയി സംസാരിക്കണം എന്ന് ഞാനത് ഒരിക്കലും പറയില്ല. I am trying to say is the more you try to have a conversation and build your portfolio in front of other people, the more opportunities, inbound opportunities you'll get. എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റീസ് വരാനും, നമുക്കിപ്പോൾ ഒരു കരിയറിലൊരു സ്റ്റാഗ്നന്റ് പാത്ത് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, നമുക്ക് ഇനഫ് നെറ്റ്വർക്ക് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് പോയി സംസാരിക്കാനും നമുക്ക് കൂടുതൽ ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റീസ് ഔട്ട് ബൗണ്ട് ആയിട്ട് പോയി കളക്ട് ചെയ്യാനുമുള്ള ചാൻസ് കൂടുതലാണ്. ആൻഡ് ഫോർത്ത് പോയിന്റ് ഈസ് ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി റെസിലിയൻസ്. റെസിലിയൻസ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മളൊരു ഹേർഡിൽ, റൈറ്റ്, there are ways to get over it. You can either jump, you can either go side, you can either wait for the whole obstacle to crumble, you can walk straight through it, you can break the wall down. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഒരു ഹിൻഡ്രൻസ് വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്ക് അതിന്റെ ചുറ്റും കുറെ വഴികളുണ്ട്. ആൻഡ് ഐ ബിലീവ് ഹിൻഡ്രൻസ് ഇസ് എന്താ പറയാ, ഒരു ഇറ്റ്സ് ഫോർ ദ ഗുഡ്. ഞാനൊരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ പറയാം. ഇപ്പൊ ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോൾ ഈ സമയത്ത് കാനഡയിൽ ഇരിക്കേണ്ട ആളാണ്, ബിക്കോസ് മൈ കോളേജ് ഇസ് ഇൻ കാനഡ. അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ പോവാൻ വേണ്ടി ഇരുന്നതിന്റെ 4 ദിവസം മുമ്പാണ് കാനഡ ബോർഡർ പിന്നെയും ക്ലോസ് ചെയ്തത്. എന്നെ എല്ലാ ഫ്രണ്ട്സും വിളിച്ച് പറഞ്ഞു, അഞ്ജന നേരത്തേക്ക് ഫ്ലൈറ്റ് ബുക്ക് ചെയ്യും പ്ലീസ്, അവർ പിന്നെയും ബോർഡർ ക്ലോസ് ചെയ്യും, ഇന്ത്യയിലെ കേസസ് കൂടുകയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അന്നത്തെ റേറ്റിനായിരുന്നു ഏറ്റവും ചീപ്പസ്റ്റ് ഫ്ലൈറ്റ്. ആൻഡ് ഐ ഡിഡ്ന്റ് വാണ്ട് ടു പുട്ട് എ ബർഡൻ ഓൺ മൈ ഫാദർ സേയിങ് ഇല്ല പറ്റില്ല അച്ഛാ, എനിക്ക് നേരത്തെ പോകണം, എനിക്ക് ഇത്ര രൂപയുടെ ഫ്ലൈറ്റ് തന്നെ വേണം. അത് പറ്റില്ല, ബിക്കോസ് ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് റൈറ്റ്. ഐ ആം ഓൾഡ് ഇനഫ് ടു പേ ഫോർ മൈ ഓൺ ഫ്ലൈറ്റ് ടിക്കറ്റ്. എനിവേസ്, അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു ദിവസം ബ്ലോക്കേജ് വന്നപ്പോൾ ഐ ഫെൽറ്റ് വെരി സാഡ്. ലൈക്ക് എന്താണ്, എനിക്ക് പോകേണ്ടതായിരുന്നു, എനിക്ക് രാവിലെ എണീറ്റിരുന്ന് ക്ലാസ് അറ്റൻഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ വയ്യ എന്നൊക്കെ ആലോചിച്ചു. പക്ഷെ ഇന്നലെ ദ പ്രൈം മിനിസ്റ്റർ അനൗൺസ് ദാറ്റ് ഫുള്ളി വാക്സിനേറ്റഡ് ട്രാവലേഴ്സിന് ഇപ്പൊ കാനഡയിൽ 3 ദിവസം ഹോട്ടൽ ക്വാറന്റൈൻ ഇരിക്കണ്ട എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് 3 ദിവസം ഹോട്ടൽ ക്വാറന്റൈന് $2,000 ആണ് അവർ ചാർജ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ ഇന്നത്തോടെ ഫുള്ളി വാക്സിനേറ്റഡ് ട്രാവലേഴ്സിന് ആ $2,000 ലാഭിക്കാം. സോ ദാറ്റ് വാൾ കെയിം അപ്പ് ഓൺ മൈ വേ ഫോർ സംതിങ് ഗുഡ്. ആ ഒരു അന്ന് ഞാൻ എടുത്തുചാട്ടം കാണിക്കാത്തത് കൊണ്ട് ആ 3 ദിവസം ഹോട്ടൽ ക്വാറന്റൈനിന്റെ കാശ് ഞാൻ ലാഭിച്ചു എന്ന് വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറയാം. സോ ഐ ആം സേയിങ് everything in life happens for the good. ഞാൻ 2 പ്രാവശ്യം ഡ്രോപ്പ് ഔട്ട് ചെയ്തത് ഞാൻ ഇനീഷ്യലി റിഗ്രറ്റ് ചെയ്തു, ബട്ട് നൗ ഐ ഡോണ്ട് റിഗ്രറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് എനി മോർ, ബിക്കോസ് അതില്ലായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ ഊബർ ഈറ്റ്സിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യില്ല, അതില്ലായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ എൻ്റെ കരിയർ കിക്ക് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ആവില്ല, അതില്ലായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ ചിലപ്പോൾ ഓൺ മനോരമയ്ക്ക് എഴുതി തുടങ്ങില്ല. അപ്പോൾ റെസിലിയൻസ്, you got this guys. Like എന്ത് ഹിൻഡ്രൻസ് വന്നാലും, if you are not able to get through a subject in your college, right, ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ സബ്ജക്റ്റിന്റെ അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും എനിക്ക് പറ്റുന്നില്ല എന്ന് തോന്നിയാലും don't worry, focus on the rest of the subjects. Maybe that is not your cup of tea, right? അത് എന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നു, I think, but don't give up on it entirely. Try your hand, but the minute it adds a lot of mental pressure on you, try to focus on the other subjects so that you can balance the whole thing out. So I think resilience, networking, humility, questioning or hunger for growth is like the key. I hope that helps you in some way or the other. This is about like career, and I wanted to talk to you about how career works. And from my experience of, I started working at the age of 18, and I've been working since then, and now is the time I've actually got to study, but I've not stopped working. അപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ 18 വയസ്സ് തൊട്ട് വർക്ക് ചെയ്ത് തുടങ്ങിയപ്പോൾ തൊട്ട് കിട്ടിയ ആ ഒരു ഇച്ചിരി ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ എടുത്താണ് ഞാൻ ഈ PPT ഉണ്ടാക്കിയത്. So now, because Miss Sukanya wanted me to talk about blogging, and because it's a new industry, എനിക്ക് കുറച്ച് അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് കുറച്ച് സംസാരിക്കണമെന്നുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. Till now, does anyone have like any questions? എന്തെങ്കിലും ചോദിക്കാനുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ചോദിക്കാം. It need not be a professional question. It can be good to ask personal question, sort of thing. ആർക്കെങ്കിലും എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, if you want to raise your hand. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ chat box ൽ ഇട്ട് വെച്ചാൽ മതി. I'll try to answer as soon as I finish. It's just a few 10 slides or something. So
I just wanted to tell you something. We've even got students who've joined from Philippines. So then, can you switch on to English only, because I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, first of all, I'm so sorry to those students who did not understand. I was just talking about my journey so far, and I was just telling you a couple of things about my life and growth, and how humility, networking, questioning, and resilience help you through the way. And I'm just moving on to talking about food blogging, which is an emerging sector in the food and beverage industry. And today, if you know, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a restaurateur, you know for a fact that people are scared of food bloggers. Though customers love food bloggers, they love seeing them, they also reach a point where they hate them because we post food content at midnight and people tend to be hungry and they lose it. They're like, like, you know, we're just very hungry, why are you showing these food videos? So, but it's now growing, it's evolving. Food bloggers are getting recognition, food bloggers are everywhere. See, with the rise in social media, there's one thing that has happened is everyone has a voice now. So you can't really criticize saying that how do we find credible food bloggers? See, everyone's doing what they can. You need to find what suits your taste. What kind of content do you want to see? So so similarly, you develop, if you're trying to become a food blogger, you try to develop the content you would like to see in other food bloggers. What do you think is lacking in the food blogging industry, and carve a niche for yourself? Like create your, I'm sure you might have studied this term in hospitality, USP, your unique selling point. You need to figure that out. Why should someone follow you? Why should someone follow you and not that? Or why should someone choose you over another food blogger? Or why should someone choose you along with another food blogger is the question you need to answer. And the first, but to be honest, that's not the first thing you ask yourself. The first thing to do is always begin. If you want to do it, start with whatever you have. Start with the pictures you have on your phone. Start with the food your amma is making, your achan is making, your sibling is making. Anybody, let's break gender patriarchy here. Whoever is making the food, let your house help make food. Post a picture of that, talk about it, think about the food you're eating, think about the drink you're having, basic chaya or kapi or Horlicks or whatever. Start. Now, why am I saying that? I'll tell you. So this is how it started, and this is how it's going for me. Okay. Back in 2016, when I was interning in a restaurant in Lucknow, thanks to Aksha, I fell sick there also. So part of my whole plan of falling sick. I started a blog. This is exactly how it looks like. It's still there. It was not called Thank God I'm Fat. It was called nkuralorg.wordpress.com because I'm Tamil and I wanted to bring my culture out. No, I wouldn't put that name today. But I started anyways, and I didn't know how to start a blog. So I started a WordPress powered blog because thanks to Google, every information is available there. So I went to Google, I found out how I can start a WordPress blog without paying for domain, without having, hosting. And today I would suggest you watch YouTube videos because it's much more easier to understand than actually going through blog articles and understanding what WordPress is. If you're technically not that sound like me, I'm really bad. I am extremely bad technically. You reach out to friends, okay, and you ask them what to do. So this is how my blog used to look like, and it was WordPress powered. I had zero clue what I wanted to write, but trust me, to begin is the hardest step, and I went ahead and I just started. And today, let me see if I can open this link up. Hmm, let me see if I can open the link. Can you guys see? ആരെങ്കിലും ഒന്ന് chat boxil ഒന്ന് അയച്ചാൽ മതിയോ?
Yes, yes, we can see.
Thank you. So I started with Enkural, whatever, my voice in Tamil, and I have Thank God I'm Fat now, and this happened in 2018. So this is how my website looks today. And trust me, it's not 100% my effort. It is a few friends who studied in Sri Chitra Tirunal College of Engineering, who were good at computer science. They wanted to make a few bucks. I was interning somewhere. I had a little bit of pocket money and I wanted to make a good website. So I paid them and I learned from them. And this is where I write these days. Other than posting on Instagram, this is where I write. So it just, the most difficult step is definitely to begin. But once you begin, if you enjoy the process, you're sorted. You will love it. You just feel like you need to do this every day. But there will be breaks, don't worry. You will feel like taking a break. You can take the break. You can still grow. Now, when I say just start with whatever you can, I'm not kidding. When I look back, this is the first kind of photos I used to click. These are the kind of photos I used to click when I started food blogging. Not appetizing, not pretty. This is, I remember this fish curry from Kerala Hotel in Trivandrum on the left. And this was, I was messy. I was all over the place. I was shy to get up and click a photo when food came on my table, like in the restaurants. I was intimidated. I didn't see, I will still say I'm not good at photography. I can't take people like picture of my friends. I can't take pictures of the people I know. It's just crazy. But I wanted to do this so bad because this was like my one big opportunity to grow in my career and be around the food and beverage world. So I learned. I tried following people who are good at photography, food photography. I tried following people who are good at normal phone photography. My friends who, like, I'll ask them doubts like, what is the ratio? How should the light come? From where should the light come? Now people are advanced. Like, there are better phones and everything. Not too long ago, but still, I couldn't afford a great phone. So this was like on the right side. It's taken with it's a OnePlus, not an iPhone or whatever. See, the first one, I'm still not ashamed of the picture. I know it's not appetizing. I know it's not great, but I began, and it's one of the pictures that helped me start. So I'm grateful to that picture as well. On the right side is how I take pictures today. I try to work on the light. I try to work on the aesthetic appeal of the whole thing. I love that dish, by the way. It was made by Chef Shreya Shetty. If you know, she's a Mangalorean chef. If you're in the industry, it's great to know people who are doing, really good stuff. She has a restaurant in Mangalore, and she cooks for the Kapoor family sometimes. Anil Kapoor, Riya Kapoor, and all that. She had a pop-up in Kochi, and she made that. It's a prawn tamboli. It's beautiful. Her ideas are crazy. So no shame here on the right hand side. I'm still not proud because I'm nowhere close to some content creators. But I'm happy that these pictures help me get started. So that's the whole thing. You just need to begin. That is the biggest and most challenging step of all. Start an Instagram page. If anyone's listening to me today, if you're not sleeping, if you're actually like interested in food blogging, if you want to do something in the food and beverage industry, make an Instagram account, make it public. I know it's cliche, but who cares? If it makes you happy, do it. Just go ahead. I can only preach what I practice. So I'll tell you from my experience that I have worked in multiple departments. So when I started off my career, I didn't have anything to start off with. I was just a student who had dropped out from 2 years of 1 year of hotel management school and 1 year of culinary school. And all I knew were basics in cooking and just basic stuff, you know. So I started, but I was too overconfident that I could do everything. So I started working in a catering unit in Bengaluru because I was too tired of coming back home and listening to my friends' parents saying, "Kutti endina idakka പഠിക്കാൻ പോയെ? You could have just, you know, gone ahead." Because I was a commerce student, CA പഠിക്കായിരുന്നില്ലേ, BCom പഠിച്ചിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ പെൺകുട്ടിയാണ് കല്യാണം കഴിച്ചു വിടാനൊക്കെ എന്ത് whatever, yeah. So all those questions, I got tired of it, and I went ahead and worked at a catering unit in Bengaluru until I broke my back, not literally, figuratively, because I had to wake up at 4 in the morning, go to Madiwala market, find vegetables for everyday work, come back home at 3 in the morning, wake up at 6 again, go to Madiwala market. I didn't have a PG to stay because I couldn't afford, and I was really sad that I didn't have money, because the student loan I had taken was pretty huge because Vaksha is a private college and it was expensive, and my father had to repay. So I was like really ashamed to ask my dad for more money. So I really wanted to work, but reached a point where I had to like live in the living room of a friend's place, like this tiny space between. They were poor, so they didn't have a lot of money. So it was like the TV and the sofa. In between there was like a mattress. That was my whole comfort zone. But I enjoyed Bangalore. I learned a lot from there. I learned that, see, I knew much less than the cook who came to work at our catering unit. The cook who started off as a cleaner, he came from Bihar to Karnataka to earn some money. He started off at a restaurant as a dishwasher, like, you know, he would clean the utensils. He wanted to learn chopping and cutting. He asked the chef there, he learned that. He used to handle the entire kitchen. I used to only curate the menu. He used to do everything. He was not professionally trained. He was not a hospitality student. He was not a tourism student. But yeah, he made it. I mean, that that is grit. That is everything. I learned so much from him. I learned the tricks to make a round roti from him. I learned the tricks to cooking masalas well from him. So never be ashamed to learn anything from anybody. Just because I went to Aksha doesn't mean that I'm greater than him or whatever. Think of Chef Pillai. Everybody knows Chef Pillai. Chef Pillai is an icon. He's a legend. He does not have a hotel management background, but we are privileged enough to study from the best cream faculty there is. So grasp everything you can. I'm still grateful to the faculty in my college, Vaksha. Chef Manoj, Chef Thiru, Chef Kaliappan, Chef Raj, everybody who still reach out to me asking me, how are you, da? Like, are you okay? So it's always good to carry that bond. So if you have faculty who really care for you and who really are willing to go the extra mile to teach you, seize the opportunity, my friend. You got this. So I left that job and I came back and I didn't have anything to do. So I started writing for this online portal called endicity.com. I still consider them my first employer because it was like an official job. I used to carry my laptop everywhere, start writing about the food and beverage stuff in Trivandrum. But I did not get paid. I was promised a salary, but I did not get money. I worked as sub editor, but the lesson learned was I jumped into conclusions too easily. I did not ask for salary. I did not fight for it, but I worked hard for a month. So never do that. Never undersell yourself. If you're working for somebody, get your documentations. At least like how this session is giving you an e-certificate for your time. The time you spend, you need, if you're good at it, you need to get paid. You need to get some kind of reward. If you're putting in your time and effort, it's an opportunity cost. Sure, if you've learned accounting, you'll have learned this too. In tourism and hospitality, I'm sure there's hospitality accounting. So opportunity cost is the cost of your opportunity missed. So because you spend time here, you might have missed another opportunity. You're gaining something from here. You need to get a reward for that. So don't let anybody make you work for free. If it's a barter, make sure the barter, whatever you're getting back, is something valuable, something you can hold on to. Then I moved on to working with Uber Eats, my life-changing moment. Like, it's an MNC, it's a multinational company. I am a 12th graduate. I mean, I was a 12th graduate. I still am proud to say I'm a 12th graduate. So I don't have a certificate. I just have my 12 certificates, and I have a business called Eat at Trivandrum in Trivandrum. It's like Eat Kochi, Eat in Kochi, if you know. Um, we are a Facebook group of 150,000 people, and we also have a branch of PR and marketing, which is called Progress 360. I am one of the operating partners. We have 4 people, three guys and one me, and we four are really passionate. We have completed 5 years of working together, and we started in 2016. Yeah, 2016, and we've done tremendous like work together. We have had our differences, but yeah, good moments. I was going to pitch a marketing idea for Uber Eats via Eat at Trivandrum, and I was jobless. And I saw the team at Uber Eats sales. They met me and they said, "Hey, listen, do you guys have any leads for sales interns for Uber Eats?" And I was like, "Hey, listen, I'm not good at sales. I've never done it, but can I give it a try?" And they were like, "Yeah, okay. The interview is day after. Do you want to try?" I'm like, "I really want to try because I have nothing to do right now, and some money would be great." And they're like, "Okay, come for the interview day after tomorrow." And so I tried. My interview wasn't great. You can ask the guy who hired me, Ashik Subramaniam, my career guru and mentor. It wasn't good. I didn't do background research. I didn't thoroughly study. I regret that though. I should have studied. Like they asked me simple questions like, "How much does Uber Eats charge for delivery?" And I'm like, 1 rupee, and they were like, "No." So it's good to always do your research before you go for an interview. I was bad, but I really wanted the job. So I kind of told him, "Listen, like I learn. I will really learn because this is like a golden opportunity for me and everything." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, we'll take you as an intern." They took me as an intern. See, that's I went there to pitch a marketing idea and get paid by Uber Eats in another way, and I changed the whole idea into working for them under the same person who I was having a business meeting with. So the minute you decide that you're smaller than that person that you see as an opportunity, the minute you think that, "Listen, I have a business, I'm going to pitch an idea to you, I don't need your job," that's it. Your lot of opportunities go wasted there. The minute you think that, see, I'm still ready to, stoop low and learn from you, I'm no biggie, still a beginner, you get a lot of opportunities. And I joined Uber Eats. I The first week of see, this is where I combined food blogging and my job together. So, food blogging is something that will not give you money from day one. If anyone's planning to start food blogging, I will tell you something. It won't give you money from day one, unlike a normal job. A normal job, you are under contract. You need to get your money by the end of the month or by the end of the term period you've signed up for. But in food blogging, it will take a couple of months. It's like business to hit break even, right? So I thought Uber Eats is a food industry. It's in the food industry. How can I make use of Uber Eats for food blogging? Because in Uber Eats, we get to order free food. So I used to review that. Like we get to order free food in the sense we could reimburse the money. So I tried to explore more food culture within the city I was in. So I started with sales department. I started networking with a lot of entrepreneurs in Trivandrum. I already used to because of Vida Trivandrum, but yeah, it kind of helped. And drum rolls, please. By the end of week 2, there was a review on how many. Okay, this is an interesting story. How many accounts we had closed one. Closed one in sales literally means how many leads do you have? How many people have actually signed up for Uber Eats, like completed all the signing up process? We had a review, and I thought I was doing fairly okay. We had a review. Kerala head was there. His name is Ranjit Prahladan. I spoke to him last night also. So Ranjit was there. Ranjit was the youngest head of state. He was 27 when he became the head of state of Uber Eats. And he came to me asking, "Anjana, can you show me how many close ones you have?" And I said, "I have zero, Ranjit. Nobody was like interested because our commission is very high. People are not interested." And I had a colleague. I had a colleague in Uber Eats. His name is Vipin Wilson. He's a 12th pass too. He cannot speak English, but he had 13 closed ones. Despite the 30% commission, Vipin, someone I look up to, is like a brother in the like for me in the industry. He had 13 closed ones in 2 weeks. He used to wake up at 8, call every owner, go meet them personally, persuade them, go have a like lunch with them. I learned the trick of sales from him. And he had no background in sales. He started as in with Uber. Ranjit hired him. He started with Uber trying to talk to drivers. Never underestimate anybody just because you have some more exposure than them. So I learned so much from Vipin. And I was almost getting fired. Ranjit was discussing with me and it's like, Anjana, this is not good. Bad. See, I'm bad at sales. I cannot. I am really bad at it. I will openly accept it. So I thought I'm getting fired. I came back and I told my mom and dad that I'm not probably cut out for it. I'm failing at everything. I'm going to get, whatever. So we had a team meeting the other day and I pitched a random marketing idea to Ranjit because I was bored. And I just told him, see, listen, we could do this for Uber Eats when when we officially launch in Trivandrum. Ranjit didn't say anything. Ranjit's like, hey, Anjana, I will get back to you. He walked off from the team meeting. And the next day he called me and said, listen, I think your forte is in marketing. I'm going to put you there. I think I didn't try, but I kept the job and I stayed with Uber Eats for 1.5 years. I grew from sales intern to marketing intern. Then I became the marketing coordinator. Then I became the marketing manager for Kerala. I led marketing for 6 cities, which is 6 cities in Kerala. And then because Ranjit liked my work, I got to assist Southwest cities as well. Bangalore, Mangalore, Mysore, and they were about to launch Manipal, but they cancelled it. That was my dream. But it has been a crazy growth. It is because of people like Ranjit who believed in me and put me in marketing, and because of Ashik who took the chance and hired me, that this happened. But I'll also give credit to myself because I took the chance of pitching an idea to Ranjit even when I knew that my job was at stake. I was going to go, so I didn't just give up and I tried pitching an idea. I didn't know it would work wonders, but it did. But the pressure got so much at Uber Eats that I left before it got sold to Zomato. Uber Eats eaten by Zomato, sad moment, but it was a family that I made there. And when you talk about dreams, I kept writing about Trivandrum food scene only. And then I started writing about Kochi food scene also. Because I got to travel a lot within Kerala thanks to Uber Eats because I was taking care of marketing for 6 cities. I used to like shuttle 2 days in Trivandrum, 2 days in Kochi, 2 days in Kottayam sort of thing. So because I used to shuttle, I used to write about different places and culinary culture spotted me. I'll tell you, okay, food and beverage industry people, tourism industry people, this is something you would love to know. This is culinary culture. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, Anjana.
Awesome. Am I boring you guys? Is it okay? Is it going good?
It's going really good.
Thank you. So this is culinary culture. This is something you will be happy and proud to know. Uh, you know Michelin? Anyone knows? Can anyone drop in the chat if they know Michelin? What a Michelin star is? I'm not going to ask you tough questions. Do you guys know any, like, if you know what Michelin is, so sort of thing? Is anyone using the chat box? Michelin star എന്താണെന്ന് അറിയാവുന്ന ആർക്കെങ്കിലും ഒന്ന് കമന്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ ചാറ്റ് ബോക്സിൽ?
We've enabled the chat box. You can, if there's someone who knows it, please comment.
Is the chat box enabled? Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, someone has raised their hand. Okay.
Anila Roshan, I guess.
Yeah, I've asked to unmute.
Anila, can you just type down in the chat box? I think that's more easier.
I've asked to unmute also, like if you want to speak, please മലയാളത്തിൽ സംസാരിക്കാനാണെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെയും കുഴപ്പമില്ല. Nivedya also wants to answer. Yes, I love interaction. Come on, guys. Interact. Ask questions.
We're just unmuting them, Anjana. Just give us a second.
Okay, no problem.
Mubina, can you speak? Mubina?
The full 5 minutes session.
Who is speaking?
Anila?
Restaurants, New York-based restaurants.
Who is speaking? May I know the name, please?
Can you please tell your names that she can talk to you that way? I think again unmuted. Rating given to a
Oh, yeah.
restaurant
Yeah,
or
we
chef.
can actually. Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. By a Daya company. Amazing stuff. Yes, Amal, you're right. It's one of the highest accreditation that can be given to a restaurant. Perfect, spot on. I'll combine both the answers together. Does anyone else have any answer?
Anjana, previously Anila had spoken to you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Analyze a student if I might use her name or as a faculty. I just wanted to make sure that.
Anila, can you just type down?
Like I want to address properly. Okay, Miss Anila. It's not a set of restaurants in New York, but yep, it's an award for not just oh, hi Anila. Okay. Okay, I'll respond to that, Krishnendu. Okay, I'll first go on with the Michelin thing. Spot on, Amal. Rating given to a restaurant or chef by a tire company. I'll just rephrase that: restaurant and chef by a tire company. So Michelin tires, Michelin tires long back started a review system. They had a magazine where പുറത്തുനിന്നൊക്കെ travel ചെയ്ത് വരുന്നവർക്ക് if they wanted to see today's food blogging, but think of old times, right? Think of old times, but today's food blogging. So that's what Michelin is all about. And so how does Michelin work? If you've seen movies, if you're in this industry, you must have seen movies where they talk about you know how Michelin star they'll sit and not give a clue that they're from Michelin. They'll put a spoon down and then everybody gets intimidated. So chefs can get multiple stars. Keep this in mind. Chefs can get way too many stars. Like people like Gordon Ramsay or Marco Pierre White have a lot of stars, but restaurants can get maximum 3 stars only. So Michelin 3-star Michelin restaurants are the top most restaurants in the world. So Michelin stars and Michelin tire company, yes, they have a relation. Michelin tire company rates restaurants and hotels. Now it's not just in New York. How it works is the government of a country has to, their tourism department has to pay Michelin a huge sum for their people to come and review restaurants in that country. Okay, for example, Indian tourism or government has to pay Michelin a sum of money for the Michelin people to come and review restaurants in India. Since the government won't pay because India is a big country and it's not easy to narrow down on 1 or 2 restaurants, the amount is going to be huge and India is not paying. Michelin is not there in India, and that's why chefs, if you know, if you're in the industry, chefs who try to what do you call it, who want to get the Michelin star trying to go abroad. Because Khanna, Vineet Bhatia, people like that, like Gagan Anand, oh my god, people I look up to, these people go abroad because that's their opportunity to get a Michelin. Some people go abroad because that's where the hospitality industry is better. India is getting better, but I'm just saying. So India അങ്ങനെ ഒരു Michelin ഇല്ലാത്തത് കൊണ്ട് there is something called culinary culture. This is culinary culture, India's definitive voice in food. So the best restaurants in India are rated with fairness and expert opinions. Can I just quickly show you the video once again? Can you tell me if there's volume undo ennu parayane?
Yes, Anjana.
Is it playing?
Yes, volume is there.
Just give me 1 second.
Sure.
So, in culinary culture, restaurants are reviewed as 3 stars, 4 stars, and 5 stars, unlike Michelin, which has a maximum of 3 stars per restaurant. Right? Must try is very good restaurant. 4 stars, like you have to make a special trip for such a restaurant. 5 star is cream crowd. Like you need to probably save up to go once visit that place like for once in your lifetime, and it is in India. So first people get nominated, then they get refined, then there's a final call, and the academy disputes the final jury. So um so these three people, so Veer Sangvi, if you know, he's a food critic. He's known to, he's called, he has a column called Rude Food because he can be brutally honest with food. Unlike the food bloggers that we are, like the people I work with, people like, so if any day any one of you listening, if any day any one of you listening, if you're starting a restaurant and Veer Sangui happens to come by, make sure your restaurant serves the best of best, because his one article can make or take your restaurant to glory. Then you know, okay, Samir Sen, he's the founder of Culinary Culture. I'll give you an idea of him. He has a business that invests in multiple franchisees. Okay, his one wing, I'll tell you, I'm trying to explain how big of a person this is. His one wing is Burger King, the famous outlet, and his company owns 100% shares, I mean 100% rights, franchisee rights for Burger Poyalum. That's the franchisee rights are owned by Mr. Samir Sen. Okay, there's Gagan Anand, who is a maestro, who is an enigma, who has taken the Indian food scene like from here to here. So these are people you really need to know in the industry. I hope after this, like you actually know these people. Volume undo.
Volume.
I always look at religion as something that binds people rather than create partitions. And based on that, what I've seen is that there are really only three religions in India: cricket, Bollywood, and food. Food is probably the one that we're most passionate about. But there's nothing that binds us together when it comes to food.
Culinary culture is not a company, it's not a rating system, it's much more than that. It's a movement to take Indian food to the next level, to rate India's restaurants in a transparent and brutally honest manner, to get the world's greatest chefs to come into India, see how wonderful our food is. It's a movement that takes in everything that's Indian and that's food.
I think it's high time that we need a guide that is not based on popularity, but on really reviews of foodies going and checking whether it's worth being in the guide and telling that this is the one to go for.
So culinary culture will aim to do that in the most independent and judicious manner. We are going to be independent of any kind of influence whatsoever.
It's a movement that takes the most important food voices, brings them together, takes their opinions, selects restaurants, rewards them, awards them stars. It's something that's always sounded too ambitious, but we've done it.
The moment I was offered this opportunity to be a jury in culinary culture, I thought that that's amazing. It gives me this huge opportunity to be going back to India for the reason of food, and maybe I will eat something, taste something that will inspire me.
The idea is to get the world's greatest chefs, 3 Michelin stars, top 5, perhaps the greatest chef in the world, get them to India, let them see what Indian food is like.
Our collaborations will transcend borders and boundaries and bring chefs, cuisines, and cultures together. This has never happened in India before, but we're going to make it happen. There are hundreds of restaurant awards in India, but nobody gives the real culinary artisans, the chefs, the recognition they deserve. We plan to award and reward Indian chefs as part of our Food Superstars initiatives, providing them a platform and highlighting their stories. Street Food Superstars is India's first and only street food award that will celebrate the unsung heroes of our food community.
So it's going to be a fantastic mix of what I would call independence, passion, and fun all put together to give you the absolute best. It is meant to basically create a movement which embraces us all.
So I hope you guys were able to hear that.
Yes, yes, Anjana.
It gives me goosebumps to even talk about it. Is there anyone else speaking? Yeah, so it gives me goosebumps to like even talk about it, you know. So that is culinary culture, and our state wise site they have they create like curate 3 bloggers each for reviewing restaurants for the awards, and I happen to be one of them. I, along with Karthik Murali, the founder of Eat Kochi Eat, and Rahul's Food Scenes, Rahul Enkuti. So we three are the people who rate and review restaurants for Kerala, and it was a golden opportunity for me. So this is something coming out of like, so it that also happened here out of luck. Like I thought it was a phishing email when it said Veer Sang, we would like to meet you. So I didn't respond, and then they called me and said like, listen, we were looking for a response via email and all that. So yeah, it has been huge. It's a big dream for me. So what I want to tell you is, once you when you start, you might not have a clear idea of where this might take you, but when you go through the whole thing, there'll be these little surprises that life throws at you, where you just come. See, this might not be your ultimate goal. So you might have started food blogging thinking, I want to, like, you know, I want to blog, I just want to blog, and I want to be the biggest food writer. But there are these little milestones that come along the way that make you better, right? You make you or teach you to be a better person. So this, if you're planning to start food blogging, if you're planning to start digital marketing, if you're planning, make sure you market yourself as well, like how I'm doing right now. Market yourself too, not just market the product that you're putting out. Marketing yourself is the key to today's digital marketing. Now, where do I draw inspiration from? I draw inspiration from people like Faye Mashler and Pooja Dhingra. So I wanted to show you 2 videos. If you guys are interested, can you let me know in the chat box if you want to see those videos? It's about Faye Mashler. It's just 2-3 minutes. Video കാണണമെങ്കിൽ only we'll see. Otherwise, I'll just say about it. I'm just trying to make this interactive because I
We'll
can't
see the video, Anjana.
Okay. Nanu, you can call me Anjana. Thank you. Awesome. Perfect. Yes, Fida, I know Pooja Dhingra is cute. She's amazing. So first, I will tell you who Faye Mashler is. She's the world's biggest food critic. Like Veer Sangvi is for India. I just told you his review can make or break your restaurant in India. Faye Mashler can make or break your restaurant anywhere in the world. She goes and writes a review about a restaurant. Next day, you're going to be flooded with people coming into your restaurant. So there's a chef called Asma Khan. Chef Asma Khan is one of the Indian chefs to come in. I think it's Chef's Table. She represents Britain. She was one of the only Indian chefs to be featured in Chef's Table. Asma Khan has a restaurant in London called Darjeeling Express. She cooks Indian food there. She hardly had people coming in. She used to do pop-ups at home. She started a small restaurant. It wasn't helping. She was just trying to build from scratch. And one day Faye Mashler walks into her restaurant and her staff don't know. Like, she doesn't know who Faye Mashler is. Obviously, she's not like a recognized chef. She's working her way through. Faye Mashler comes into a restaurant, sits down, orders dal and chawal and basic stuff, whatever was there. Asma Khan cooks like how she always does. So the thing about Asma Khan is, Asma Khan has people working under her, only women in her kitchen. Okay, Asma Khan's Darjeeling Express have only women, and these women are people who came as immigrants to London and struggled to find a livelihood. One is a nanny. One used to work as she used to sell her body for a living, let's say. These people got empowered because of Asma Khan. So Faye Mashler came, wrote one review. Next day, Asma Khan is everywhere. She's getting featured on Chef's Table. She's getting more reviews coming in critics. Now she has 2 restaurants or something, like huge restaurants. So that's the power of Faye Mashler. And why I want to show you this video, I will tell you. This is for anyone who wants to start food blogging.
And it's my pleasure to welcome Faye Mashler. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
And you are the restaurant critic for the Evening Standard, and you've been doing restaurant reviews for how many years?
42 years.
42 years.
I won a competition in 1972, and the prize was to do the job for 3 months. And it's gone on and on and on.
Do you have any idea how many you've done in total?
Not really, but a lot.
Well, the subject tonight is food and memory, and I was thinking.
I wanted to show you only that much of the video because she was bored. She wrote in for a competition, one piece about a restaurant. She won the competition. She had to only do the internship for 3 months, and for 42 years she's still in the same organization writing food reviews, and she's one of the biggest names in the industry, like the food and beverage industry as a whole, not just India. That's the kind of goal like we need to have. If you love something, stick on to it no matter what. Yes, I don't know what the name is, Real Me. I will definitely answer your question. And I wanted to show you the Pooja Dhingra video as well, one small bit of that. 1 second.
Sure to transport you to another world. The bakery and cafe chain has 5 outlets across Mumbai and has been in business for almost a decade. Founder Pooja Dhingra refuses to slow down and has big plans going forward. Okay, Pooja, thank you so much for joining us, and firstly, thank you for inviting us to this space. It's quite beautiful.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So, Pooja, the first thing that I want to ask you is, you were 23 when you started Love 15. So that is the age when most millennials are still trying to figure out what to do in life. Were you so sure? Like, what made you so sure that this is what I want to do?
So I think I've always loved dessert. My love for chocolate took me to Switzerland and then to Paris.
Right.
And then when I was in Paris, I kind of, I knew before going to Paris, I sort of knew that I'm going to come back and set up this, dessert chain, because I knew that rents in the city are so expensive that I'll need to have more to sort of survive.
Right.
So it was always at the back of my mind. And then when I was in Paris, I tasted my first macaroon and then obviously fell in love with it. And I just moved back and I didn't think about it too much. I think people waste a lot of time evaluating, thinking, is this right for me, wrong? I just felt something in my gut. I knew I had to do it and I went for it.
Right. So how did the funding come about?
So, so I started initially when I was 23 and, the money was given by my family. It was a small seed capital that they helped me with and then sort of said, you're on your own.
Right.
And then whatever money the business made came back into the business and then through bank loans.
Oh.
This is another thing I wanted to show you. 1 second. Yeah, so basically, if you really want to do something, you just have to find your way through it. She was 23 when she started Love 15. And Love 15 is one of the very famous bakeries and patisseries in India. She introduced macaron culture to India. If you guys are really in the food and beverage industry, these are names you should really know, and places you should really visit once the pandemic settles down. Love 15 in Colaba, you can see how like every bit of that cafe is handpicked. Like she has handpicked why that particular frame or picture has been there. She uses the finest chocolates for her brownies. It's not heavily priced. So like if you can, if you're making a trip to Mumbai, I think you should definitely visit places like O Pedro, Bombay Canteen, Love 15, or if you're going to Delhi, okay, this might be an expensive affair. If you can save up enough, you can go to Indian Accent by Chef Manish Malhotra. It's it's a life-changing experience for you. I'm going to quickly answer a few questions from the chat box and then move on to the rest of the slide. Just 3 more slides. How to improve food quality in your idea? Can you elaborate that question, like food quality in restaurants or food quality while, like, making it home generally, or food quality while cooking, or food quality while reviewing? Can you elaborate that question? What's the best organic food? As in, are you asking me what's the best kind of organic food? I think anything organic is great, but organic is an overrated word today, don't you think? ഇപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് വീട്ടിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ എന്താ പറയുക, ഹോർട്ടിക്കൾച്ചർ, അപ്പോൾ അത് വെച്ച് നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ ഗാർഡനിൽ നിന്ന് വി ക്യാൻ ഗെറ്റ് produce. That's also organic, but we still prefer to pay heavy amount to whatever is called organic. I understand that they're heavy. I worked in agrotech also. I worked for a company called Farmers Fresh Zone. So I know why organic is extremely priced, because it's a specific niche. Pesticide illade undakumbo, it's going to cost you more. The yield is going to be less. Farmers have a tough time because farmers are not ready. So I've worked with farmers for 7 months. It's very difficult to convince them to actually go there and pesticide illade അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എന്താ പറയാ, all these things ഇങ്ങനത്തെ വേണ്ട, ഓർഗാനിക് ആയിട്ട് ചെയ്യാം, because the yield is less, they get less money, and their living standards are way more critical than ours. They have to go through everything and experience every little like change of nature. So the best organic food, I would say, is what if you can produce at home and eat what you cultivate. There's nothing better. Oh, okay, good question. Can you tell me about the income from food blog? Is this profitable? Personal opinion parayam. No, I don't think it can sustain you unless and until you're like, you have money coming in from YouTube. If you are blogging or vlogging on YouTube, you can always make money, because the more content you produce, YouTube pays you money. Instagram doesn't pay you money. So you have to always take or cater to brand collaborations. Brand collaborations varumbo, you have to what do you call it? You have to bargain. You have to have a good sales knack, which I already told you I'm really bad at. But yeah, I have completed 15 brand collaborations so far. So it has helped me in getting a couple of stuff, like getting my phone, getting my laptop, all of that, which I needed for my job. But what kept me sane and what kept me alive are my jobs. For me, food blogging has always been a side gig. For me, career is not food blogging. For me, career is always working in under people, learning from them, at the same time growing my brand on the side. So I would say it is profitable if you're doing the right things and you're contributing 24/7 in creating dope content. If you're 24/7 into building your own thing, and if you have a business mind of making use of the audience you have and turning it into a business, it is profitable. If you're only trying to do some random reviews, no, I don't think. See, if reviews ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് കൺസൾട്ടേഷനിലേക്ക് പോകുന്ന കുറെ പേരുണ്ട്, they make good money. Restaurant consultation, റിവ്യൂസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് യൂട്യൂബ് മണിയിൽ സർവൈവ് ചെയ്ത് അഡീഷണൽ മണി ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാരുണ്ട്. റിവ്യൂസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് ഇവോൾവ് ആയി പുതിയ പുതിയ കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന, ലൈക്ക് ഈറ്റ് കൊച്ചി ഈറ്റ്, ദേ ഡു ടോക്സ്, അങ്ങനെയുണ്ട്. ഈറ്റ് അറ്റ് ട്രിവാൻഡ്രം, വി മേക്ക് മണി ത്രൂ ലോയൽറ്റി കാർഡ്. Zomato Gold പോലെ we have something called loyalty card, where you purchase a card and restaurants sign up with us. So if you have the business knack to kind of modify the whole situation and turn it into a new business model where money can come in, yes, it is profitable. I hope that I answered your question. Quality, creativity in food making in restaurant. I think number one today, considering the pandemic, cleanliness, safety, following HACCP standards, very important, right? I'm sure we studied that in hotel management school. HACCP standards follow is very important, like basic stuff, right? പോൾട്രി യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ചോപ്പിംഗ് ബോർഡ് വെജിറ്റബിൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പാടില്ല. Make sure you, if you're thawing your chicken, you take it from the freezer and do not, it's not the right way, it's not the scientific way to dunk it into water and try to cool it down. Keep it in the refrigerator, let it thaw, then keep it outside, let it thaw. Okay, so basic stuff like that. Safety control points. Creativity definitely depends on the chef that you are. If you are artistic, you can try and play around with plating, you can try and playing around with fusion food. Okay, always understand your niche and you can have creativity. But ക്രിയേറ്റിവിറ്റിയുടെ പേരിൽ ഒരു ഡിഷിന്റെ ഒത്തന്റിസിറ്റി റൂയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നതിനോട് ഞാൻ യോജിക്കുന്നില്ല. That is, for example, yeah, okay, now we see Arabic food in Kerala is like a huge trend, right? We have al-faham, we have shawaya, we have mandi, whatever, Mediterranean food and everything. But taking that and making it a fusion food, making it kandari al-faham is great. But ruining the authenticity to an extent that only chicken remains and the idea of grilling remains and calling it al-faham does not stay true to its name, right? So you can't really destroy the whole thing, but if you can make it better by being grateful to the origin of the dish, it'll be great. I hope I answered your question, Krishnendu. Okay, Jomon, which editing apps do you use? I'm coming to that. I will tell you. So basically, it's in the next slides. Basic editing apps I use: for pictures, I use Snapseed, and for videos, I use InShot, InShot, and that's pretty much it. Those are all the things I use. And if you've seen my videos, I'll come to that. Don't worry. I'll show you what exactly I do with my videos and photos. Anit Maria, the future of a culinary student in the current situation. Very tough to predict. I am so sorry. It's just that it's very, very difficult to predict the future right now. But the future is real and we will have it. So don't worry. Baby steps. I think the food industry and the food and beverage industry and the alcohol industry are something that will never go obsolete. It'll always stay, no matter what the trend is, right? Fashion industry, fast fashion, vannu poga. If you're talking about art industry, new kinds of art can, flourish or whatever. But food industry, it will never go obsolete. Etra pazhaya dish ayalum, etra puradana ancestral dish ayalum, if it's food, it will stay and we will have a way out of this. So what you can do is currently try and intern at places, learn all that you can, and if you think you can make a couple of extra income by starting a cloud kitchen or being a home chef, do that. And probably make this, if you have the funding, try to go study advanced stuff, and by the time you graduate, the industry will be back to normal again, if that helps. Fida has a question. I am a chef who freshly graduated and I'm planning to start a dessert boutique. Oh, lovely. And I used to sell desserts and cakes online earlier before learning patisserie professionally. I'm finding it a bit hard to find correct staffs for the boutique and always been wanted to do blogging as well. Okay, so how can I help you here finding staffs? Okay, two questions, I think. To blogging as well. Okay, number one, I think you're looking for an answer for finding the staffs. I think it's always great to go through a consultant if you're really serious about your business, because they know the industry more than we do. They know people, they always have people handy. So you can always look out for consultants in the restaurant industry, and they will bring your chefs, they will bring your service staff, they will train them for you. You just have to pay them money they ask for. Okay, that can help you a lot, because see, it's carefree. Just that every move they make sure you know whatever they're doing. As a business person, your investment, your capital, make sure you know everything that you're doing. But a consultant is the best option rather than you going and finding correct staff for the boutique, right? Consultants are available everywhere. You can go out and Google them, find their numbers, or go out to groups in places where you're access. So for example, in Trivandrum, we have a group called Where in Trivandrum. You can ask queries about anything. There are people you can ask. Eat at Trivandrum. Like that, wherever you're from, there might be groups, right? Join them and ask for consultants and you might find them. The second part of your question is wanted to do food blogging as well. Do you want to, I have a question for you. If you answer that, I can answer you better. Do you want to review other people, or do you want to blog about the stuff you make? Can you answer that? And probably I can answer it better. I think a couple of people are raising their hands. Blog about the stuff I make, then perfect. Then you don't have to be a blogger. You can just market your boutique. Start a boutique, dessert boutique Instagram page, make it a business account, learn, take inspiration from other business accounts that do the kind of work that you do. Maybe make it a little personal so that it stands out. Be creative, add highlights, add IGTV posts, work on reels, start a website for yourself, add Shopify, go to Instamojo, get a payment link, all of these stuff that kind of helps a lot. So you can actually blog, but you're indirectly marketing your things. I think somebody wanted to ask, did someone raise their hand?
Just give me a second, Anjana. Just wanted to inform all the students that your feedback form is there in the chat box. So please fill in your feedback form so that you can get your certificates.
Thank you. I think I hope I answered your question, Miss Vida. I was going to quickly go through the rest of the slides and come back to the questions. It's just one more slide, okay? So guys, someone asked me what all editing apps I use for my videos and everything. I quickly want to show you a video I post on Instagram. So this is my Instagram ID. Thank God I'm fat. This is where I post my stuff. This is how it looks like. This is the stuff I do on Instagram. So this is one video. I'll show you the reels first that I did recently. Is it playing?
No, Anjana. Let it display.
My first Bombay trip memory has a special place reserved for the Bombay masala toast, and we're making exactly that today. To make the potato filling, we've mashed 2 boiled potatoes, added chopped onion, chopped coriander, chopped green chilies, pinch of chaat masala, salt, red chili powder, turmeric powder is optional here, pinch of asafoetida or hing or kayam, and lime juice. The ingredients you choose tend to play a key role in cooking. So we chose this particular brand of butter as this was reviewed by Mishri as one that has a fresh aroma and rich, creamy taste. So spread the butter generously on the slice of bread, layer it with some mint coriander chutney, the potato filling, a slice of cheese, and more butter on top and toast it. For added texture, maybe you could add sliced onions, sliced tomatoes, and for extra feels, dip it in some farsan or save or namkeen. To read the entire review on the butter, you can head to Mishri's website or Mishri Reviews on Instagram. Stay tuned for more.
So I don't make these videos. My friend Hari makes these videos, and all the really good recipe videos or brand collaboration videos that you see on my feed are shot and edited by HP Photography on Instagram, Hari Prasad. And I have to tell you, he does a fabulous job. He knows what he's doing. He's really good with camera, and he's a struggling artist as well. Now you see this. This is a catalog that I do on Instagram. It looks like this. So you can swipe and read about stuff. You can find it in guides here, like the catalogs I make. So this makes it easier for people to go through important information. Excellent Kerala dishes, for example. You see these catalogs: mutta patiri, mutta surka. There's a bit of information, there's pictures, it's eye catchy. So these catalogs, all the catalogs you see on my profile are made by somebody called Adik Niranjan. Just like a lot of you guys, he's a student at IHM Mumbai. And HP Photography Hari, he is a friend of mine, and he's one of the moderators of Eat at Trivandrum. So what I do is, because I cannot do something good doesn't mean that I give up on it. I try to find people who can do it better, like my kind of people, like chole and batura, like put and kadala, like brownie and ice cream. You guys go well together. So I give the ideas, Hari makes the videos. I give the ideas, Adik makes the catalogs. What do you give them in return? If there's a brand collaboration, if money is coming in, give them their due share. If not, give them due credits. So the idea to take Hari on board to make videos was mine. I went out to him, I reached out to him and I asked him, can you make videos? I'll pay you for each video. He agreed. He needed money, he needed growth, he needed something to do. Adik was a random student. He stumbled upon my Instagram account. He emailed me. He did not drop into my DM, went through a professional way, emailed me and asked me, listen, Anjana, I have an idea. When is a good time to talk to you? I gave him my WhatsApp number. He texted me and he pitched the idea of making catalogs with me, sent me references, and we've been working together ever since. This one you're seeing right here. This one is the first brand collaboration Adik and I did. So after like some 7 catalogs together, we got one brand collaboration, and it's a huge company. It's called Urban Piper. It's a restaurant POS system. It's a fairly big company. So this was Adik's first brand collaboration as well, but through me. So what I'm trying to say is, you need not learn editing all by yourself. If you can find that one friend who's really good to you, like just now Fida asked me a question. Fida asked me, I want to blog about myself, or oh yeah, sure ma'am, yes. Fida asked me a question like, how do I blog about stuff? If you don't have a good photographer, find a friend who's really good at photography who can take your pictures from your restaurant and whatever. I'm going to quickly go through the last slide. I hope this will also help you. So sip on chai, but also make it yourself. So if do always opportunities come to you, or do you have to go to them, right? Opportunities might not come to you always, and there's no shame in going and knocking on their door, right? So outbound, there is no shame. You learn how to communicate well and get that opportunity. Network so much that you can go out to people and ask, build your portfolio so you have something to show people that you need the job. Market yourself, like I said earlier. See, Sukanya Miss introduced me as a columnist for Onmanorama. They didn't come to me. I went and spoke to 3 or 4 people at Manorama, kind of found links and asked them, see, can I write? I really need to do something when I was jobless. And I left Uber Eats. That's how I got the opportunity. I had some written works I showed, and they were like, yeah, you can write. Inbound, whenever something is coming inbound, never undersell yourself. You always know what to quote, keep a clear mind, quote the amount. If you're becoming a food blogger and a brand is coming to you and they say, hey, listen, I can only pay you 1,000 rupees, but if you have like 50K followers, tell them you can't do it. See, you have this much reach, you have this much impression, you have put in so much time. Never tell them that you cannot, you never tell them that you can do it for 1,000 rupees. You're not only underselling yourself, you're putting other people who are putting in as much effort as you also in danger, because these people are not going to pay well. You can always learn with inbound. They'll tell you how to communicate. When you don't have time to do something, find other people, like how I found Adik and Hari, and you can make things better. So your output is better. Learning is every day, and humility with smartness is the key. I hope I am sorry, I just rushed through the last slide because she just mentioned that I have to finish, and I start talking, I kind of forget the time. So I hope I helped you in some way or another. And if you noticed, I don't have an ending slide to my presentation. I never have an ending slide to my presentation because I feel that ending makes it sad. Nothing should end. It's your journey to just start, go ahead. And I hope I see a lot of food bloggers from here today, or marketers or columnists, just go and seizing the day. If you have any more questions, like if I have time, I think 5 minutes.
Anjana, there's something that I want to ask you.
Oh, yeah.
Your blog, it states, thank God I'm fat. Dear, you're not even fat. So how did that come? Like, thank God I'm fat, and you're really not fat. So what is the story behind all of this?
Thank you for the question. I get this a lot. So when I was in Uber Eats, like I mentioned, I used to eat a lot and try and review food from a lot of places. I had put on a lot of weight then. I was fat. Then I started becoming a little conscious about my body and my health. Then I started working out and dieting, and that's how I reduced. So, but I'm not changing my name because I've paid for the domain. And
no, it's very catchy. Just wanted to, know the story behind that.
Credit to my brother. He put the name. He's really good with his called When Chai Met Toast. So he's
Okay.
really quirky.
Okay. Okay, I'm
I
sure
hope
there
that-
are more questions. Are you getting any questions, Anjana?
None as of now. I think all the questions I received, I kind of answered.
Okay. So, Anjana, I just wanted to tell you that it was a very interesting session. We got to learn a lot from you. Like me being a teacher also, I got a lot of information from you. And I must tell you, the one thing that you had mentioned in your slide, that is the Horlicks to success, which in which you had told you have to be very humble. And the minute I started talking to you and talking to you over phone and stuff, that is one thing I clearly recognized about you. And I would just tell a big thank you for inspiring young bloggers and all of us, including the faculties, everyone. It was a very interesting session, and thank you for your time. I know you had online classes and all of that, but still you took time off from your busy schedule to just spend some time with us. Thanks a lot. Now for the official vote of thanks, let me just call upon my student, Lakshmi. Lakshmi, please.
What a pleasant morning we are having. Wishing you the best for the day ahead. Myself, Lakshmi Babu, representing Department of Tourism and Hotel Management, and I'm here to express my sincere gratitude to everyone who gathered here. On behalf of the entire institute, I would like to thank our honorable chief guest, Ms. Anjana Gopakumar. She is one of the leading food blogger, marketer, columnist, and food writer. We really appreciate the time you spending us with today. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your presence and inspired words, ma'am. The Honorable Chairman of Nirmala College of Arts and Science, Mr. Sajeev Watoli, our Executive Director, Mrs. Dali Sajeev. You both are so generous, kind, and helpful at all the times. Please accept my heartfelt gratitude for all your support and encouragement. An event like Emerge 2021 may not happen overnight. I sincerely appreciate the management of Nirmala College of Arts and Science, the coordinators of Emerge 2021, the technical and promotional wing, all others who worked hard to make this event a grand success. Our principal, Professor Murugan Babu Sia, a very organized, professional, and forward-thinking person. We couldn't have pulled off this without your inspiration. Thank you so much, sir. Our vice principal, Dr. Jojosi Akara, a man with compassion, leadership, and motivation. Thank you for all your hard work on this, sir. My warmest thanks to all the head of the departments, teaching and non-teaching staff at Nirmala College of Arts and Science for their wonderful coordination of this event. Finally, I'm eternally grateful to all the participants in this beautiful session. Without your presence and patient listening, this event may not be a grand success. So thank you all.
Before you leave, let me remind you something. We have many more interesting sessions coming up tomorrow. We have Mr. Jyotis Mohan IRS, who's going to give an interesting motivation session from 9:30. So stay tuned because we have wonderful webinars coming up. So here's Sukanya signing out. Thank you.